Shockwaves at Turning Point USA. The news broke like an earthquake in American politics, shaking not just the organization itself but the larger conservative movement it had come to represent. Charlie Kirk, the founder, the face, the firebrand, was gone, struck down by a violent tragedy that left his supporters stunned and his critics equally rattled. For years, Charlie Kirk had been the center of TPUSA's orbit, the reason young conservatives packed conference halls, the reason donors poured in money, the reason campus activists fought tooth and nail against what they saw as the dominance of leftist ideology. His sudden death wasn't just a personal loss, it was a direct hit to the machinery of an organization built almost entirely around his energy, his words, his presence. And without him, there was a question that hung heavy in the air: who could possibly fill that void? The days after his death were chaotic. On social media, tributes poured in, with supporters sharing his speeches, interviews, and fiery exchanges on college campuses. Critics, even in their opposition, admitted the obvious. Kirk had been a master at capturing attention, creating confrontation, and mobilizing a generation of conservatives who felt ignored in universities dominated by progressive voices. But inside TPUSA, the mood was darker. Behind closed doors, board members and senior staff convened emergency meetings. The organization was grieving, but it couldn't afford to stop moving. There were donors to reassure, students to rally, and a movement that risked splintering without its leader. And then, from the silence of morning came a decision that sent fresh ripples through the conservative world. The board of TPUSA unanimously named Erika Kirk, Charlie's widow, as the new CEO and chair of the board. It was a move that shocked some, comforted others, and immediately reignited debate. Why her? Was this really what Charlie wanted? Was it continuity or desperation? The official explanation was clear. According to those present, Charlie himself had expressed his wishes years before. If anything ever happened to him, Erika should step in. She had been close to the mission, supportive from the sidelines, and deeply trusted. The board took those words seriously, and when the unimaginable happened, they acted on them. In their eyes, Erika wasn't just stepping into her husband's shoes, she was carrying out his vision, his last wish. But reality is rarely that simple. Erika's appointment was both symbolic and strategic. Symbolic because her stepping forward represented continuity, a seamless transition from Charlie's legacy to his chosen successor. Strategic because it helped the organization maintain momentum in a moment of vulnerability. Donors wanted assurance that TPUSA wasn't about to collapse. Student chapters wanted reassurance that the mission was intact. Erika's leadership offered both, at least on the surface. Yet beneath that surface, tension brewed. Supporters rallied around her immediately. They cheered her first public statements where she promised to keep the movement bigger than ever and vowed to defend Charlie's legacy with even more passion than before. She framed her new role as a sacred responsibility, saying she wasn't just running an organization, she was carrying forward her late husband's dream. The emotional weight of those words resonated with thousands who felt that Charlie's death wasn't just the loss of a leader but an attack on their values. But others were skeptical. Erika had never been the face of TPUSA, never the voice on the stage, never the strategist behind the scenes. She had been a partner in Charlie's personal life but not his public one. Some questioned whether she could handle the scale of what lay ahead, managing millions in donations, overseeing thousands of student chapters, fending off constant media attacks, and competing with the polished machinery of rival organizations. Could she rally the same energy? Could she inspire the same fire? Or was she simply a placeholder, a name chosen to protect the brand until a longer-term leader emerged? The organization itself was split. Many staff members were fiercely loyal to Charlie's vision and saw Erika as the natural choice to continue it. Others whispered about succession plans, about whether more experienced figures inside the conservative world should have been tapped. And then there was the looming question of outside perception. Erika stepping in might look to critics like nepotism, an emotional decision rather than a strategic one. Already commentators were spinning it as TPUSA clinging to its founder's shadow, unwilling or unable to evolve beyond one man's charisma. But what made Erika's appointment even more dramatic was the timing. In the days following Charlie's death, TPUSA's reach had actually expanded. Tens of thousands of students signed up to start new chapters, flooding the organization with requests. Donors increased their contributions, determined to honor Charlie's memory. The movement was surging, but that momentum was volatile. Without strong leadership, it could just as easily explode into disarray as consolidate into power. Erika wasn't just tasked with honoring Charlie's name, she had to channel an energy that was both grief and determination into something sustainable. And here lies the twist. Erika doesn't just inherit a movement, she inherits its controversies. TPUSA had long been criticized for its confrontational style, its high-profile events, its funding sources, and its close ties to prominent political figures. Charlie thrived in that chaos, using every controversy to his advantage. But Erika is different. She's stepping into an arena where she will be judged not just for what she does but for how she handles attacks, how she navigates scandals, how she builds, or fails to build, credibility in her own right. Every move she makes will be scrutinized, every misstep amplified. The conservative movement is watching. Rivals within the right are watching. The media is watching. And young conservatives on campuses across the country are waiting for her to prove that she's more than just a symbolic successor. For TPUSA, this is a make-or-break moment. Will Erika Kirk transform her husband's organization into a new era of influence? Or will the absence of Charlie's voice prove too much to overcome? What makes the situation even more dramatic is the larger context. American politics right now is volatile, emotional, divided more sharply than ever. TPUSA has always thrived in that environment by being provocative, unapologetic, and relentless. But will Erika choose to carry that same tone? Or will she carve out a different path? Perhaps one less combative, more strategic, more institutional? That decision could reshape not only TPUSA's identity, but also its place in the conservative movement for years to come. The truth is, Erika Kirk's appointment isn't just about leadership. It's about legacy. It's about how a movement built on one man's energy survives after that man is gone. It's about whether a widow's grief can be transformed into a force powerful enough to guide thousands of young activists. It's about whether TPUSA was ever truly bigger than Charlie Kirk, or whether it will fade without him. And that is why this leadership shift has sent shockwaves far beyond the walls of the organization itself. In the end, what's unfolding is more than a corporate shuffle. It's a political drama with personal stakes, a human story with national implications. Erika Kirk now carries the weight of expectation, of scrutiny, of grief, and of hope. The future of TPUSA, and perhaps a portion of the conservative youth movement, rests on how she navigates this moment. And now the question passes to you. Do you see Erika's appointment as a continuation of legacy, or as a gamble in uncertain times? Should TPUSA have chosen someone with a longer track record, or was honoring Charlie's final wish the only choice that could unite the movement? Is this the beginning of a stronger TPUSA, or the start of its unraveling? If you believe this story matters, don't let it fade into the endless churn of headlines. Share it, discuss it, and think about the deeper questions it raises about leadership, legacy, and what happens when movements lose their founders. And if you want to keep following the twists and turns in stories that shake politics, culture, and power itself, hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and stay with us. Because this saga is far from over.